This is a hangout for the Great Lakes Entrepreneurs Quest, and we're talking with Amanda Chocko at the Start Garden in Grand Rapids. How are you, Amanda?
I'm great. How are you?
I am excellent. And I'm excited to hear about the Start Garden and what your role is and how you do business, because it's in my knowledge, it's a unique way to help entrepreneurs.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how long has Start Garden been around? And give us a little introduction.
Sure. Well, we just celebrated our 1-year anniversary in April, and we are a very early stage seed capital fund, and we invest in ideas from back of the napkin and through those early stages of development. We have a unique model with how we work with entrepreneurs. All of the ideas and the people that apply to Start Garden do so through our website, and that's startgarden.com. And we just ask 5 simple questions. We don't ask for any big business plans or pitch decks. In fact, we ask that people don't send us those things because we do get so many submissions. There's 5 simple questions. Ideas can come from anywhere, although the majority do come from Michigan, but all throughout the state, not just Grand Rapids. And ideas could be anything from ranging from internet technology to physical products. But they do have to be a scalable business, so we do not invest in nonprofits or lifestyle type companies. But people submit their ideas to startgarden.com, and twice a week we make 2 investments of $5,000 each. One of those investments is chosen by the Start Garden team, and the other is chosen by the public. So anybody can get onto our website, look at all of the ideas that were submitted on that particular week, and endorse the ones that they feel should receive the $5,000 investment.
Okay, so as a new company or an entrepreneur with an idea, I would go to your website, and there's just, like you say, 5 questions. Because I cruised through your website a little bit preparing for this conversation. And 5 simple questions to be in the running to get a $5,000 investment. Correct?
Yep. Okay. 5 questions. I don't know how simple they are, but we certainly ask that people are succinct and answer them based on the best of their knowledge at the time they come up with the idea. Once a person receives that $5,000, this is the way we get to know the entrepreneur behind the idea, because they have 60 to 90 days to take that $5,000 and do some type of experiment that validates some underlying hypothesis about their idea. And we're asking them to focus on 3 areas: whether the idea is desirable. Does anybody else besides themselves and their mom think it's a great idea? Is it feasible? Can it actually be produced or built? And is it viable? Could you create a viable company out of it and create a business model that scales and duplicates itself? So after the 60 to 90 days, the person behind the idea comes back to our monthly update night, and they get on a stage in front of about 200 plus people and talk about how they spent the $5,000. Talk about what their original hypothesis was, what experiment they set up, how they spent the money, what were their findings, what did they learn, and what are they doing as a result of that learning, and what are their next steps. And from there, we decide whether we're going to make that next round of investment. And I think I have a stair-step slide in there, which you're going to pull that up.
Wrong way. There you go.
There you go. So we start our relationship at the $5,000 level, and once update night rolls around, we can invest $20, $50, $100, up to $500,000 in a single idea. Typically at the update night events, it's usually in that $20,000 to $75,000 range, depending on what that next milestone is that the entrepreneur needs to hit. But we do go up to $500,000, and once we get into those higher rounds, we do work with other investors throughout the state to round out larger rounds that the entrepreneur might be going for.
Okay, so the first $5,000 investment, your website, says you don't need a 40-page business plan, and that you just need to describe the idea. And so what is the trade-off there? What does the entrepreneur trade for $5,000? Is it a loan? Is it equity? What is that?
The $5,000 is neither a loan nor an equity stake at that point. It's just an agreement. There are two things. One, that the person is going to come back to that in-person update and talk about how they spent the money. So that kind of gives them some social accountability on how they're spending the money, that they're not just going to go off to the Bahamas and have a good time, that they're they don't want to burn that social capital.
Unless, of course, that's their business plan. So.
Right, at which they probably won't receive further investment.
Oh, right, okay.
And the other part of that is that Start Garden gets to come along on that next round of investment. So just, I guess, gives us some sense of security that we're not going to give a person their start and then they're going to go off and be totally successful without us. So we get to come alongside that next round, which, 99% of the time is Start Garden. So once that $20,000 investment is made, the $5,000 agreement goes away, kind of rolls up into the next agreement, which is a loan. It's convertible debt, and that converts to equity once a valuation is put on the company or larger rounds are made in investment. And then that equity stake is really case by case.
Sure. So your intent is to work with the entrepreneur and help them test their idea, and then come along with them as the idea gets more and more meat behind it, to be there to help. And I'll throw you a softball here. So is it just money that Start Garden helps with?
No, we like to say that we invest three types of capital, one being financial, and the other two being intellectual and social capital. There you go. So we feel, it really takes, to move an idea forward to a successful company. We feel, and I think that most people would agree, that it takes these three types of capital to
so
help.
How do you do that? How do you do social and intellectual capital?
We do it a number of ways. We've been, Start Garden is relatively new, but we've been working in the startup arena and in the ecosystem for a number of years. So we've built quite an ecosystem of resources and organizations that we work with to help connect entrepreneurs to. So that could be anything from service providers, such as attorneys and financial CPA people, to marketing people. Depending on the type of idea, it could be connecting them with people that will help them with app or website development, prototyping, manufacturing, helping with distribution channels. We do have some of our ideas that are in the retail space, so we help make those types of distribution connections for them. We also have a physical space, downtown Grand Rapids, where we hold classes and open advisor hours. So we have people with certain areas of expertise come in on a weekly basis, and anybody can go to our website and check out who's going to be in the building that day. And it's first come, first serve. So you come into the space and you can sign up for a half-hour discussion with one of those experts. And then we make those one-on-one connections for them also. As far as social capital goes, we have many events. We have happy hours once a month. The update night that I spoke of earlier attracts, 200 plus people, and a really, broad array of folks are attending that that people like to make connections to. So, we're doing our best to build the ecosystem. And then part of my job also is to go around the state and connect with the other startup communities that are around.
Mm-hmm.
And, since so many of our ideas come from around the state, we it's not part of our model to expect people to move to Grand Rapids, especially in those early stages of their business. So we try to help them make connections in their own backyard as well.
Okay, so geography, where I am, is not a requirement, but obviously, you're located in Grand Rapids. That's where the socialization will typically happen, and so on.
Right.
But how do I say it? The entrepreneur doesn't even have to be from Michigan, but I would guess most of your clientele so far has been Michigan folks. Huh? Okay.
Yeah, I'd say the majority. When we look at the submissions on a weekly basis, where they're from is not, on the top of our vetting list. It's more about the idea and the person behind the idea. But we
How
do
many
look
do you typically get in a week?
It ranges anywhere from 30 to 60 usually.
Really? Wow.
Yep. In the beginning, we were getting in the hundreds, but they've it's kind of evened out to an average of 30 to 60.
That's a lot of ideas. That's pretty neat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Excellent. So, what? Well, go ahead. Is there more on the slides, or I don't want to cut you off? I had another question.
No, I think the slides really just, they go into that whole, again, we really feel like we're a concierge connecting, entrepreneurs to the resources. We're very interested in West Michigan and building our entrepreneurial ecosystem, but we really look at the whole state of Michigan and all, looking at it as a total region and each region within Michigan, they each have their own strengths and core competencies within their area, and trying to cross-pollinate and build bridges from all of those different communities is what we try to do. Excellent.
And Michigan is blessed with quite a few entrepreneurial support organizations, and it is very important that they all work together so that we don't duplicate resources and so on. As far as the Great Lakes Entrepreneurs Quest goes, one of the charges that I'm trying to work on is, just like you, being a conduit so people can know what services are available. And that's why we're talking to you, and we'll likely chat with you again in some future time when there's an event or something going on. You can be reached at amanda@startgarden.com, and we're lucky I can come back into the picture here. I do this. Oops, there we go. So what... Any big events happening for the Start Garden in the near future?
Well, we have our happy hour this week, Thursday. So we usually have those the second Thursday of the month. And then update nights, always the fourth Thursday of the month. Although we are taking July off, just because so many other people take July off. So we have events on a weekly basis. The social events are on the second and fourth Thursday of the month, but if you go to our website, anybody can go to our website and access our event calendar. July is going to be light. A lot of us are taking vacation, as are many people, so we're cutting down a little bit on events, but we have happy hour this week. At the end of this month, we have our update night. We have classes going on. People can always just stop in and say hi if they're in the neighborhood. So we're here. As far as ideas go, if people are interested in submitting ideas, we choose the ideas that are going to receive the funding on Thursday by noon of each week. Then the the website clears out for new ideas to come in. So the best time to, if you're, particularly if you're going for that public vote, is to submit your idea on like Thursday afternoon or Friday, so then you have, you know, that full week to get people endorsing your ideas.
Okay, so when I have my great idea, I will submit it on a Thursday afternoon or a Friday morning, so it can be judged throughout the week before the public
Right.
votes get tallied. Okay, well, Amanda, very interesting operation. Where does your funding come from?
Well, Rick DeVos founded Start Garden, and the DeVos family put together the fund.
Excellent. Well, we certainly appreciate that, and it's an outstanding entrepreneurial support organization. You and I will probably bump into each other next week at the Great Lakes Entrepreneurs Quest event in Lansing. And it's another chance to meet people at the different organizations throughout the state. And with that, I think we will let you get back to doing what you need to do, and look forward to chatting with you again.
Great. Thanks so much.
Okay. Have
Bye.
a good night. Bye now.